Hi, second graders. Remember when we left off with our book, Those Darn Squirrels, yesterday? The squirrels had just started eating some of the food from the bird feeder. They'd taken some. So now let's keep going. The birds were not happy. Neither was Old Man Fookwire. When he discovered what had happened, he shook his fist. Old Man Fist, and yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" Ah, do you see where we got the title from now? Interesting. He filled up the feeders again, but this time he hung them from a clothesline. Then he went back inside, confident that the squirrels would no longer be able to get to the seeds and berries. But the squirrels were, let's look at this word. This is an interesting word. Look at this. D-E. What sound would D-E make? D, right? D-E would sound like D. Then T-E-R, what would that sound like? Ter, right? So D, ter, and then now let's look at this. M-I-N would sound like what? Men. Men. And then E-D makes the ed sound, right? So let's look at it. Determined. Ah, but the squirrels were determined. Ooh, what does that mean? Determined means they were going to get the food, right? Did you see how we sounded that word out? That's a really big word, isn't it? But we were able to figure out what the word was just by using our decoding skills and breaking that word down. They devised a plan, and this time they took all the food from the bird feeders. Uh-oh. So remember, before they only took a little bit, right? Now they took all the food from the bird feeders. Do you see how the word all is written there? It looks a little different than the rest of the words, doesn't it? So, took all the food. That means we want to really emphasize the word all, and we would read it like this. They devised a plan, and this time they took all the food from the bird feeders. The birds were furious. Humph, 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 yelled a bongo bird. Those darn squirrels, yelled Old Man Fookwire. Yum, said the squirrels. Oh my goodness, y'all look at them. They're all with little fat bellies because they ate all the food. Look at them. Now, it was Old Man Fookwire's turn to devise a plan. He went to the general store to get supplies. He bought lasers and clamps. He bought wires and springs. He bought all sorts of tools and built a veritable fortress around his bird feeders. Then he refilled them very carefully. My goodness, look at that. Do y'all know the game Mousetrap? This picture reminds me of that. You know how you put the whole trap together? That just looks kind of crazy, doesn't it? He's got all kinds of traps ready for the squirrels. Do you see that? And look, here we go. Na, 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 snorted the flugel bird. Uh-oh. The squirrels stayed up all night working out their strategy. They drank cherry cola and ate salt and vinegar chips to help them stay awake. Finally, they had it. The perfect plan. They put on their tiny helmets and prepared to launch themselves into the air, over the fence, between the lasers, and onto the bird feeders. The first squirrel misfired and hit a tree. The second squirrel went too high and landed in a bucket. The third squirrel sailed clear over the house. The birds laughed and laughed. They each had one last delicious mouthful of seeds and berries from the old man's feeders. Then they flew south for the winter, just as they did every year. "Thbzz," said the flugelbird. Uh-oh, how do you think Old Man Flookwire is feeling now? Did his plan work? Or are the birds going ahead and leaving anyway like they did every year? All right, we're going to find out tomorrow in our shared reading time.